Hello and welcome back everybody to my weekend update on the financial markets. My name is still Jens and today we will talk about the price action of S&P 500, US oil, gold and Bitcoin. We will look above the weekly, daily and 4-hour time frame so that you know what to do in the markets the week ahead. Let's start with S&P 500 on the weekly. Yeah, the S&P 500 is printing new higher highs and I think that will continue at least till the point that we hit the take profit slightly below the 6,000 point mark. Why I think so, I will explain that at the daily time frame where we can see price action in more detail. Here we had two all-time highs. That was the level of this daily support and resistance zone. That one got broken to the upside, then a small retest back to the zone. This turned from resistance to support and price bounced to the upside and created a new all-time high. That makes me bullish for a continuation of this uptrend till we get my take profit here. What shouldn't happen now, if we lose this low here to the downside, make a retest to this daily support and resistance zone and break that retest to the downside, that would mean point A, that I lose this trade. Not that worse because I already moved my stop loss to my entry level, but could also mean that we lose this secondary weekly uptrend to the downside and we'll see further continuation to the downside. But I will update you if that happens in my next weekend report and what I will do with that. At the moment, everything looks bullish for the market and so you should be too. Yeah, that's it. Short update on S&P 500. Let's go to US oil. Yeah, US oil on the weekly time frame here, we can see a red solid monthly downtrend line. This long-lasting downtrend got broken to the upside. Since then, we moved into this weekly correction. The 200 moving average has been so far support for price. Then we came below it and now it turns into resistance. So I think more bearish price action is likely. If we drop down to the daily time frame, we can see this daily triangle formation that broke out to the downside, what normally means that it will continue to the downside. Then we have seen a pushback and a break of this daily downtrend line. That could mean more bullish price action, but normally this area here turns also resistance. So more bearish price action is also possible because this triangle here is a strong formation and we shouldn't underestimate it. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that this 4-hour support and resistance zone got broken to the upside, which is bullish, and also this 4-hour blue dotted downward line, the correction to this level got also broken to the upside. Yeah, it's hard to make a trade out of it. You could do like the following and place your take profit at the upper line of this daily triangle downtrend line, because there we will likely see some resistance for price and a pushback to the lower side. Now is the question where you put your stop loss, because every trade has to have a stop loss. You would probably set it below this 4-hour support and resistance zone and the low of this movement, and then you would get a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. For my taste, that's not enough. I like to see at least 1.5, and I can't do a trade like that at the moment because I'm not sure that we will see directly a breakout out of this triangle to the upside after we have seen first a break to the downside. So at the moment for me, no trading on US oil, but you can decide different. I keep you, like always, updated in my next weekend report, but for now we switch to gold. Gold on a weekly time frame, absolutely bullish for everyone who is invested in gold or mining stocks or has a current long trade. Everybody should be happy about it. Not me, because I'm shorting the market. I think the market is a little bit stretched. If we look on the MACD indicator, for example, every time it has been that high, shortly after we have seen a huger correction, and I expect the same here. We have seen after the break of this resistance zone only upward movement with small corrections, and I think if we look at the daily time frame and count the Elliott waves, A, B, C, D, E, normally point E is the end of the uptrend, then follows an A, B, C correction before we continue with another A, B, C, D, E wave to the upside. So I was somewhat convicted that we will have here the end of point E and start the correction. So far it went also well, but if we go at the 4-hour time frame and you can see my trading setup here, the break of this 4-hour uptrend line in combination with the cross in the MACD at the 4-hour was the sign for me to go short on the market. First we have seen a little bit of sideways consolidation, but then finally the market was breaking down, and then here was following the correction to this level where we have a lot of price action and price often bounced from that level. I was expecting here that the price turns again and moves into my favorite direction to see this this huger correction from the huger picture. But instead it moved significantly higher and went slightly above this short-term downtrend line. That could well mean that we will see a stop loss here. That would mean 0.5% of my account balance at loss. It's a small stop loss. Normally I use 0.5 to maximum 2%. So it's my smallest risk here that I was taking, because I was knowing that in strong bull market it's hard to short, and oftentimes price moves longer to the upside than expected. So not risking much here. Don't worry if it goes to a stop loss, because the profits from the other trades will compensate it in the long run. But yeah, there's also the possibility that price will respect future resistance zones, for example this one here, and that could well mean that we will see a turn here again and that it moves into my expected direction. So I will not change anything on this trade, except if we see price below this point, I would move my stop loss to my entry level so that the trade is risk free. Yeah, if we see a massive break below this secondary daily dotted white uptrend line, that would mean that we will see a continuation, a huger downtrend than expected. But I think that will not happen this week, next week. So I will update you on my next weekend report about the next steps we can take in gold. But like always, make your own decisions. It's your investment portfolio, not mine. And I'm just telling you what I do, or I think the market will do in the next weeks. Let's switch to Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, we have made a new all-time high, but after everybody got euphoric about it, we moved into a declining sideways movement. I think the low is already in. MACD indicator is also signing us that it wants to cross to the upside, what would be bullish. And on the daily time frame, we can see this beautiful price channel that got respected every time by price. If we say this was the low and this is a higher low, that would mean that maybe this was the last time price tested the lower side of the price channel. After the break of this daily white solid downtrend line, I got into a long position on Bitcoin with stop loss below the low of the movement. That one I already moved to my entry level after I have seen a break above this daily support and resistance zone. We retested that area, and last week I nearly got taken out of my trade, but luckily it turned a little bit earlier, found support again and moved back higher. I think that could well be an ABC correction, and that we will see on the 4-hour time frame here this short-term downtrend line that's not broken yet, but that we will likely see it break next week to the upside, and then a continuation all the way up to the upper side of this price channel. Maybe I will adjust my take profit a little bit to the downside to be sure that we will hit it and not slightly before we hit it find resistance at the upper side of the price channel and turn again and move lower. If we then would see a break of the price channel to the upside, that would be another bullish opportunity to get long in the market, but I will talk about that in future episodes with you. And if we get taken out of this risk-free trade, then the possibility is there that we will retest again the lower side of the channel, and from there on find another bottom and go back higher again in the price channel. That could be well also a trading opportunity. And the worst case for long-term investors, and we see a break of this price channel to the downside, a retest, and then a break of the retest to the downside, that would mean for a continuation of the downtrend, and probably price will first stop declining around this level here. That would be 42,000, 43,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. And from there on, we could look for opportunities to get back into the market if we see prices rising again. That's it for Bitcoin. That's it for my weekend update on the financial markets. I hope you're all doing well. And yeah, look into my next weekend report every weekend. You can count on me. Bye-bye.